Hi, out here getting fun in the sun. All alone again, but it really doesn't bother me much. Being lonely, you know, I mean, what the hell, right? Anyway, I had a dream the other night. Found myself back in a job at the theater. Apparently I had a job that involved severe mental stress. Really undefined. My boss was Rusty Eldman. He made completely clear what my duties were in the theater. So varied and difficult were his many demands, though, that it complicated my life in the extreme. Basically, though, I believe I was hired as a ticket taker. Since the theater had been closed for some time for renovation, my job had been adjusted. In the center of the theater, behind the concession stands and in front of the hall, was a large open courtyard with leafy trees, lawn chairs, and a fountain. But that wasn't what we were working on. We were more involved with changing the signs to the toilets and scrubbing the walls. It seemed like it took forever. The work was tiring and really boring. It was completely consuming me, and it kept me from selling tickets. It made me wish I'd stayed in bed, which is where I actually was. One day, while I was in the booth, finally, I had an additional reprieve. I was approached by a slender, blonde-haired beauty. She asked me what was playing. I answered that we were closed. Now, most people would get quite angry at such insolence. But she did not seem to care. She just answered mysteriously, "You may not remember me, but I remember you." I was stunned. I never saw her before. To this I had to admit, and I apologized for it, but mainly because she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I told her so. "I'll be back," she replied quietly, "but don't forget." She smiled. In my consequential state of amazement, I could think of nothing to say. I wished her well as she turned to go. Suddenly, as though driven by some odd extrasensory perception, I asked, "Isn't there anything I can do?" She was leaving, and I just couldn't let her go. When she turned back, I noticed she had real tears in her eyes. "Please help me. I'll go crazy if I don't tell somebody." So there in the street she stood and emptied out her soul. She told me about how her husband was waiting for her in the apartment with the kids and a gun. I replied that she should, in that case, move in with me, or in short, desert. I, in turn, would arrange her husband's subsequent liquidation, the return of her children, and a job as a bonus at the theater. "That's all well and good," she started, after thinking the matter over seriously. "However, I don't know anything about cinematography or taking tickets, and besides, I thought the theater was closed for repairs." "True enough," I replied, which is to say precisely why I'm neither ticket salesman nor ticket taker myself. Both of these positions could easily be filled by you. Actually, besides, I whispered, "You're the most gorgeous creature on 2 feet. I would surely lay down in front of a speeding automobile if you asked me to." "Actually, I was thinking of something like that," was her response. "Maybe a blood sacrifice?" The end. Edible Wreck was written in a blue pickup truck in the Hamptons during a volleyball match in the rain in July 1978.